Hi, thanks for listening. You're tuning in to Mish right now, just talking on some thought forms that have been coming into my head. I wanted to explain my view on how we become a human race, or how this even exists, or where we are. You know, sometimes we ask ourselves the questions, why am I here? What am I? Who am I? How does everything exist? And so, you know, one of those, that's been a really big question in my life, for a really long time, you know, many different times that I ask that question. And every time I expand and then things change and shift and different vibrations come in, I then ask that question again and again until I seek some answers around that. So I wanted to talk about my perspective on that. And so I feel like there's a source energy, like it's a source energy, meaning all that is, I don't even know how to define that. It's a little bit out of our brain capacity to give you something logical to attach to. So I'm not going to go too far into that. But let's just say there is a source energy that creates all things. And I am an extension of that source. So, you know, a part of me decided to come down. The larger part of me decided to send a part of me down to earth to have an experience so I can expand further and create more. And when I came down to this earth to expand more and create and have an experience, so I can continue the expansion of the universe, I came down in human form into a lower level vibration so I could know the difference between positive and negative, to know the difference between the opposites, you know, so I knew what one was against the other. There's actually a beautiful little play called Little Soul in the Sun that does a very cute job of explaining that. And I think, okay, so here I am, I've come down to have this experience on earth and to expand, and I can choose to expand in positive or negative ways. It doesn't really matter. I'll still expand and I'll still continue my evolution, and that evolution is actually linked into all that is with everything on the other side. But right here, right now, I'm living in it. So, you know, if I'm living in it, why not choose like a more comfortable vibration of expansion? Yet sometimes I do find, if I want to expand even more, that the expansion of fear sometimes pushes me into expanding very quickly when I, you know, want to move fast on this level, on this plane, on this earth plane. So, God, it's just fascinating, isn't it? I'm having a conversation with my phone. It's just crazy. Anyway, so I've been wanting to do this for a long time and record my thoughts like this. So, and I think some people out there are really going to get this. So, you know, everything that you decide to think about or put a thought form into creates from that. And so when you know, it doesn't create instantaneously unless you had no attachments, then it could. But because we have so many attachments, so many belief systems to that are creating our reality of our perception, that if you actually stopped and just took a moment to think about what it is you want to see, what it is you want to experience, and how you want to experience that. You don't actually have to know how you want to experience, you just have to know what you want to experience. And nobody can say they don't know what that is, because they always know what they don't want, which gives you a direct opposite to know what you do want. So it's a matter of just like tuning into yourself, and as soon as you know what you don't want, you can just say, okay, well, that's not what I want this. And then how does that actually feel, and relate an emotion to it? Because everything you think about or everything that you see that you want is, you want the attainment more so for a feeling more than anything else, which is a higher level vibration of feeling good. You know, I don't go and buy a car because, like, I might think that I'm buying the car to look fantastic in the car if I'm buying it because I think it's a hot looking car and it's going to make me look more hot, then really I'm still buying that car so I can feel better about myself, like to feel good. So every single thing I'm trying to obtain is always going to be based on a feeling when it comes right down to the end of it. Why do I want that hamburger? Because it's going to taste good. And how's that going to feel? Because it's going to feel good. I don't know if it feels good after I've eaten it. Sometimes it doesn't, but I don't know that at the time. That's what I know what I want, you know, in that moment. And so we can consciously choose anytime we like. We can consciously choose to feel good. We can constantly choose what we want more of. And sometimes we might be in a few patterns. Like, there's been times in my life where I've been on a roll in my negative thinking and in the in the thinking of all the things that I don't like and how it feels, and the sadness, and watching movies that are sad, and I'm just like in the sad, then I'm feeling lonely, and I'm attaching more thought forms to it, and more things, you know, that could consistently catapult into this one feeling. It's just the same with money. Like if I'm stressed about finances, which most people do get stressed about finances, but the more I stress about the finances, the worse the finances get. Whereas if I just stop thinking about where that's going to come from and actually think about what I want and how I want to feel, and start getting into the feeling of how I want to feel, which will automatically transpose me into that feeling, then I'm obtaining the feeling that I want, and therefore the universe then provides everything that I need, and the money just starts to flow, the people start to come, the shifts and changes, I start to have unusual conversations, you know, things that I wanted done for so long just start appearing, and everything just falls into place. It's such an easy concept. It's such an easy thing to do, but the first choice, or the first point of reference here, is that you actually have a choice. You have a choice to choose what thoughts you want. You have a choice, you know, and you can choose to say, oh, I don't want that thought. This is the step of consciousness. I don't want that thought. What do I want? And just think of directly the opposite. It's a very small, short thing. But anyway, think about that today. Think about what you want and how it feels. Think about how it feels and get into the feeling of that. And when you know that feeling, just kind of live in that feeling for a little while, because you're already getting what you want without even having to go out and get anything. And I'll guarantee you that the anything, which is the car or the house or the, you know, money or whatever it might be, will just come. It'll just come to you. Try it. It is super, super powerful. Super powerful. Yeah. Enjoy.